Forget everything you think you know about El Salvador, and let me tell you about what we experienced in our travels around the country. We flew into San Salvador, which is the only place that you can fly into in the country, and then we spent our first day just exploring that city. Usually we're not into the big cities when we travel, but that's typically where the airports are, and so we usually will spend a day there. We spent the majority of the day checking out the historic sites of the city, and then we went to a nearby national park called El Boquerón. Here there's a gigantic crater from a previous volcanic eruption. Then we finished the day with dinner and drinks at El Cadejo Brewing Company. Dinner was great, but my favorite part was discovering El Cadejo. In Central American lore, there are 3 types of Cadejo. The 2 most common are the white one and the black one with the glowing red eyes. The white one is more of a guardian or a protector, while the black one with the glowing red eyes is definitely more evil and sinister. This one is also often known to have a chain around its neck that its victims will hear clanking in the distance as it approaches. Now, this 3rd version of El Cadejo is summoned directly from the depths of hell by Satan himself. This version is glowing bright red and is specific just to El Salvador. The black and the red Cadejo make victims of men with impure hearts. They might find these men out lurking in the dark, stumbling in a drunken stupor, or perhaps prowling for their next victim. Men with possibility for redemption might be sent a black Cadejo, and they might survive. But once you see a red Cadejo, it's game over. The next day, we took off on our Santa Ana volcano hike. This volcano is still active, and it's the tallest volcano in the entire country. In my opinion, it wasn't that strenuous, but it was straight up. Others almost didn't make it. But once we finished, we took some of the local transportation back to the starting point. Then for dinner, we went to a floating restaurant in the middle of a volcanic lake. It was a super cool, one-of-a-kind experience. So, since we've never relaxed, like ever, we got right up and at the 7 waterfalls hike the next day. This hike is exactly how it sounds, to and through 7 waterfalls. At one point, we even scaled a 230-foot tall waterfall just using this rope and the rocks around us. We splashed around in all 7 and then headed to a local coffee factory to see just how it was made. The tour itself was interesting, of course, but to me, the most fascinating part was learning how people live. The people that work at this factory do these jobs for only $10 a day. Some of these jobs include sorting the beans for imperfections, sticks, twigs, rocks, etc., carrying 100-pound bag of beans in the sun, shoveling the beans, cleaning up, etc. And each of these jobs only earned $10 a day. Day 4 was full of Mayan ruins, matmats, and molten volcanic hot springs. Well, they weren't really molten, but they were volcanic hot springs. As I mentioned, we spent the first part of the day checking out the ancient Mayan ruins. These Mayan ruins are different than the ones that you may be used to from the pictures or if you ever visited Guatemala. Those ones are more of like a big bustling city, and these ones were more rural and on the outskirts of the Mayan civilization. There are some really unique historical sites in this area too. For example, this next site was actually a peasant dwelling. Normally, peasant housing didn't make it into the future for us to visit now, but because of a volcanic eruption, this was preserved forever. Another thing that I really appreciated about this area was it was the first time we got a good look at the national bird, the matmat, or in Spanish, torogos. It's a really interesting bird with 2 long protruding tail feathers that they shake back and forth to let predators know, I see you, don't bother trying to get me. We finished our day off in some beautiful hot spring pools. So this place is definitely a vibe. This is all natural water from the hot springs from the volcanoes. And this place has this like whole complex where they have all these different pools with different temperatures, just based on like how they harness the water. And it's $6 a person, and you can come here and just spend as long as you want here. Day 5, and we are off to El Imposible National Park. This park got its name because there used to be a cliff passing that was so steep and so thin that many caravans did not make it through to the end. They would literally fall off the edge of the cliff and die and never be seen again. Now there's a bridge that crosses, and of course guests can come in and visit the park. This park sees very few guests. We were 4 of 6 that day, and you do have to get a guide to do the hikes. But the hikes are beautiful. Strenuous, but beautiful. In this picture here, we're looking at some rock carvings that are believed to be from before the days of the Mayas. Now, for my favorite day of the trip, we met up with a woman named Dora who runs a sea turtle rescue. She rescues turtle eggs from poachers and from other harm, and she saves them, she keeps them at the perfect temperature, and she releases them once they hatch.
Before release it, you have to take it just how she is doing to not hurt the turtle. Okay? Go, little guy, go! Go, little guy, go!
Dora saves about 60 to 80,000 baby sea turtles a year. Unfortunately, only 60 to 80 of those turtles will make it to adulthood. That's just the way nature is, and nature's brutal. Releasing these baby sea turtles was such a special life moment for me. It's also run entirely by the Women's Association of Barra de Santiago. I highly suggest checking it out if you're ever there. It is definitely a must-do and a must-see. Then we took a boat out with a local to some estuary / bay / bayou in a national park that is working to preserve and to bring up the crocodile population. They do it a similar way as with the sea turtles, where they collect, and they incubate the eggs and release them. Some days you may see 20 crocodiles, other days just a few. We only saw a few, but that's okay because we saw lots of beautiful birds, some lizards, and also some baby crocodiles.
And so you said sometimes the moms will eat the young.
Yes.
Are they also protective of them? Like, because she's obviously with them right now.
That's a good question. Julio, a veces los cocodrilos comen los mismos
Cocodrilo, sí.
cocodrilos,
Se
pero
disminuye.
por ejemplo, las mamás, por ejemplo, si ahorita uno toca el bebé cocodrilo, la mamá se va a enojar.
Sí.
Sí.
Ah, sí, ahorita sí.
So yeah, he's saying that yes, she will be super pissed if someone is touching her seeds, but if she eats it, it's okay.
Got it.
To close out the day, we did a short hike to a little waterfall where we could also do some swimming. This was a really great day with the tour company Expedition Maya, run by Elisa. I highly suggest them if you're ever in El Salvador. El Tunco, 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 Tunco. El Tunco is probably the place that you will see the most when you're looking up what to do and where to go in El Salvador. El Tunco is Spanish slang for the pig. The pig is the rock formation behind us. People say it looks like a pig laying on its belly, wallowing in the mud. Aside from the surf lessons, this day and the following day were pretty chill, mostly beachy-esque type days. El Tunco was neat, and it was definitely fun taking the surfing lessons, especially because I was way better than Drew, but it probably wasn't the highlight of El Salvador. It's becoming a little bit more touristy in the area because of surfing, but I would recommend other areas if you have less time. If you have more time, by all means, visit El Tunco. We also went to a black sand beach seen here, and the sand is black because it's from volcanic rock. Don't come to El Salvador if you're looking for a Caribbean-type beach vacation. El Salvador is beautiful, and it has tons to offer, but its beaches are less impressive than other aspects of the country. We also spent some time checking out the local fishing market and some of the other beaches nearby. Honestly, most of the beaches you can't really swim in that well. For example, this one that we visited had a lot of strong tides and currents, and so we really didn't even go in past maybe our shins or our knees. Others, slightly outside of El Tunco, with potential to be very beautiful, unfortunately, were a little dirty. We still went and we still had a great time, but it's just really sad to see how much garbage washes up on these beaches. Hopefully, with more tourism and people showing interest in El Salvador, it will start to make the situation a little better, and there might be some more pride or some more interest in keeping the beaches clean. Again, the currents weren't great for swimming, but we had a good time hanging out at the beach. Now, the question you've probably been thinking this whole time: was it safe? My honest review, my honest answer: yes, 100% yes. I legitimately never felt unsafe, even for a moment. I felt more unsafe walking from my own house to Family Dollar. Probably the most dangerous thing about El Salvador, I would say, would be getting in the water and not knowing how to swim. My mom may argue that it would be scaling a 230-foot waterfall. I don't know. But people were kind. People were helpful. People wanted to make sure that we were happy and enjoying our time. So I genuinely had no safety concerns the entire trip. And if you stay up on the news, you might be wondering about the current political situation. Most people that we talked to acknowledged that there's a lot going wrong with the situation right now, and that it's a slippery slope, and that they might be moving into a dictatorship. But they also see the other side of it, which is they went from living in a country that had the highest murder rate per person in the world to a country that now essentially has almost zero murders. None of the murders are related to gang activity as they used to be. So it's kind of a double-edged sword for them. People now are starting to be able to actually live their lives, which they were never able to do in the past. At the end of the day, I'm sure we can all agree that there is a lot going on in this world that is not okay. It's not yours or I's fault. It's not the average El Salvadorian's fault. They're just trying to live life like the rest of us are. So El Salvador was an amazing country, tons to do, tons to experience, a beautiful culture, awesome people, very safe, and overall, definitely a destination that I would recommend to anybody who's looking to travel and to maybe get off the beaten path a little bit. Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave any questions or comments and let me know where you want to see next.